And then you also have economic situation, which could force you into cohabitation. And then in the mix, you may find love or not, or you may just be surviving. How do you blend all these 5 elements together?
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. A bit different in our part of the world. So I'm thinking about other jurisdictions. You get to a certain age, and as a young adult, you want to start life. You want to get on with it, for example. So maybe, I don't know whether we also call it dating, but let's say you found some nice flower.
Jolly.
In a garden. Jolly. You want to pick this nice flower. You want to pool your resources together, because these days a one-income household is a bit difficult to manage. So then, you've been, as they say, you've been moving, they say in the churches, you've been moving with this guy, you've been moving with this lady. Your beloved. You decide to is it cohabitate? Is that the word? Cohabitate.
That is where the problem is, because the church frowns upon it.
That's the thing.
Oh, William, the church frowns upon it, right?
That's the thing. But you might be thinking of it, as you mentioned, economically. You want to start out in life, maybe, these days you can't even buy furniture unless you have the cold hard cash. But if you and Amasewa come together, Amasewa brings their own, you bring yours, you're starting out life. But of course, the legal implications are there. People end up cohabiting for many years, and then when things go awry, you don't have some of the legal protections that persons who are married will benefit from. So whilst you're even cohabiting, you have to think about what will happen if we have to go our separate ways. We don't have some of these protections. But again, our customary laws will recognize certain types of cohabitation if you do certain things beforehand. In the traditional way, seek permission from the parents, and that also has its own legal implications. But when you start to bring religion into it, well, fundamentally, can you even cohabit in the first place?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if the church frowns on cohabitation.
The church doesn't.
What I assume the church will frown upon is sex, or if you like, premarital sex.
But if there's premarital spending, there will be premarital sex.
Well, those are different things.
They are the same thing.
No, premarital spending.
Yes.
That's money.
Something brings something.
Premarital sex.
Yes.
That is sex. So they can't be the same. So the church may frown upon the habitation. The premarital sex, but not the habitation. You may assume that somebody is living together, so they're having sex. But so that's.
But can you keep the cat and the fish in the same?
That's what that conversation will be for another day. But
I think the church will say the temptation. Maybe remove yourself from temptation.
Yes. Flee from temptation.
Yeah.
The church says flee from temptation.
Yeah, but I mean, you live with people. You live with people in the house.
Right.
If the church is saying don't touch, you shouldn't touch.
They told Adam not to touch. Before
Adam did not belong to the church. Adam died way before the church.
Charlie, let's read your comments on at 3FM 927. Yeah, that's our Twitter handle. We're also on Facebook at 3FM 927. Go there. The stream is on. Like, share, drop a comment, and tell a friend about it. But we went on to the streets and we sampled some of their views. TJ Phil, over to you. Okay, well, what?
I believe you're married. And I wouldn't allow a lady having get married to stay with me. No. I won't do that. And in some community, it's if the lady should get pregnant, they call her to say, why you are like
yeah, and yes.
If something should happen to the lady, we hold responsibility.
We are blacks, and then from society where we are coming from, and the such of training that you've been given, it's not well spoken about you when a woman should leave her house to stay with another man. No. Let's come down to our culture. You seen the lady's family sending whatever, like the knocking thing. For me, I think that one is what is marriage is. Yes. So after that, and then you meeting the girl's family, that one is marriage. So you don't need extra money to like organize the break program to get like to celebrate that. So for me, I don't think that you having that excuse that there's no money so she should come and join you and stay in your house. When she comes to stay in your house, you are going to eat, you are going to feed her. So why don't you get other money and then do something small, then get the blessings of her parents?
So biblically, it's wrong. Aside that, when you move in with a person, at a point in time, they will take you for granted. That's what I think. If the person isn't so different, he wouldn't go ahead to get married to you. You might either be in that situation till, or you would end up going your separate ways. So that's why I wouldn't go in for that.
What you said, you say some men, they study very well before they follow. You see, some men they didn't follow. You can meet, and then you say, oh, you like. Then later, the problems, and then this thing, you begin to face it, then you won't reject it. That is, and one thing too, you see, if somebody won't marry somebody, what I know is, they can be friendly for some years or for some time before they will come together. You see, that is what I know.
In my view, it's absolutely right. Because it depends on the bond, the love between the two, and how you understand yourselves. Okay, you can see a lady I'm married today, and the next day to be off. I can take myself as an example. I stayed with my wife. I'm married currently for the past 8 years. We have 2 kids. He knows me, I know her. Okay, and we married on the 8th year. So, at my experience and what I've been through, I think it's in the best way, because it helps you to know that the woman better, your partner better. That time the condition will bring that, and you have to adjust to it. Love grows. Because me per se, since I've stayed, I've really grown to love my wife so much. No doubt about it. Love grows. So seeing the woman and maybe having a baby with her doesn't mean that you love her to the max. You stay with her, you see your differences, and that's all. It makes things better. So in my experience, I always encourage that. I mean, I don't have any problem with that. It's cool. I'm cool with it.
Well, yeah, if I'm stranded, why not? But then if I'm not, besides, we are planning on getting married, and I see nothing wrong with that. Besides, it's a process. Marriage now, it's a process.
Baby council is against Sadiano. And now, young, apart from say baby council, society doesn't permit it because about crown warrior now what's not be master sabe it will get a time I won't be front. Our idea, who for the crama worry to move to dine back, but we're on warrior when who forget me a pamon at any time because of you are if you baby naba about the what brow cry. When you have phobia, and then cry dance to the any boarding into also Miss Mocheman Hall, and I said, singing room. Wait a minute now. So I band the match then to me, Nasaka. Almost this I am train to go where I won't share no money a boss. I brought
3FM Sunrise.
Beautiful song. Yeah. That'd be the whole story. So the lady said that if you are stranded in Accra, you cohabit. And it comes with plenty things, because if you are sleeping in the same room, one thing will lead to the other, and before you know it, baby number one, yeah. Number two, yeah. Number three, yeah.
I mean, quite frankly, as a Christian, one of the things that I wouldn't say struggled, but I have, tried over the years to understand this, where they say the marriage is the only avenue where you can have sex. I'm not looking at the right or wrong of it. I'm just looking at it academically, thinking aloud. So how about those who don't want to marry at all? And the sex thing is also a natural phenomenon. You know, it's just something you feel, and which you must use your human direction to handle. You know, so when it happens, and you don't want to get married, because we've heard stories about celibate individuals in some religious spaces where they announce officially
declared
that
the goods.
They are celibate, but on the dark side of things, they engage in the acts
in the darkest
and
battlefield. They knew where to strike.
They don't want society to criticize them for maybe doing it with girls. If you are, then they do with young boys. I mean, I don't want to mention the religious sect because of obvious, but I know people know what I'm talking about. So sometimes I think we lie to ourselves when it comes to that. You know, it is something
pretentious.
Exactly, because even I always say for a joke that even David, who used to talk to God directly, God will come. David in the morning, and he say, "Yes, sir."
Yes,
they'll
sir.
have a chat.
David,
When the thing hit him, and he saw the woman in the pool, it was not easy. He even killed to taste the meat.
Bathsheba.
So
and Uriah.
When it comes to that subject, it is not something that one can take lightly, and it is for me the basis of life, because
you are taking this seriously.
Yes, because it is the basis of our existence. We were created. It is recently that we have test tube babies and stuff like where we have in vitro, but naturally that's how procreation is done. So the issue of sex, when it comes, it's not something that, I mean, I've read somewhere like everybody walks around honey every minute, but subconsciously something that would trigger it. And that's how recently we heard some stories. I mean, it's there.
I can relate with that statistic. But
yeah. You see, so if you are going to live with somebody, cohabit with somebody, and the objective is not to marry, then are you saying you are going to be in the room and you wouldn't have sex?
But that is fertile ground, so.
That's what I'm saying. It's very dangerous because I have said that it's a natural phenomenon. And you see, sometimes you don't even see it. You can just, you know, the other day when I was a student, I was reading around a library in the Kolebo area. And there was a security man. Some nursing students came to pass by the security man. And the way the man was looking at them.
Visual massage.
He had forgotten about the work he was doing.
Visual massage.
And that picture, when I saw it, I was just saying, oh, Jesus, men. You see? So when it comes to the issue of sex and saying that you can go and live with somebody in the room and it won't happen.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic at all. For me, it's a zero topic. You can't. How is it
you
going to happen?
You cannot restrain yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Cannot. Yes, but somebody may say. I mean, it's easy to say. I can. Why are you living with the person in the first place? You see, you saw somebody. You
I mean,
spoke to the person.
there are people. There are males and females in friend zone kind of relationship that, or even as for this one there,
is that what we are talking about?
Even if she,
but we are sleeping with the person
in the same place because you are stranded.
And the lady said, "Accra, single room." She mentioned
yes,
single room.
Right.
This one is not even chamber hall where one can go and
and you are stranded
because if you go and sleep with somebody in a single room and you decide that one will sleep on the floor or in the couch and you sleep on the bed, massa, at 1 o'clock,
somebody will wake up.
Open.
Somebody's CCTV will be on.
You know,
Charlie.
So it's not something that if you are not ready to obey the Christian or if you like the religious rule that
then don't go near the fire.
Sex before marriage is abominable. Don't go and live and pretend that you
so
can
what do people like that do? What can they do? I'm stranded.
I mean, if it's in Ghana, luckily, marriage doesn't have to be ordinance only. You can go the traditional way. So if you see somebody, and as the Bible says, because you are the burning desire, you want to marry, you can just go and start the process traditionally. Do the knocking and just a small ceremony and get it on. So that traditionally you are covered. You can now live as man and wife.
Right.
Then later when you have money and because of, even now, if you are married traditionally, the only thing that
by customary law,
the man can do is to maybe marry more than one. But when it comes to the sharing of property, I don't think the courts will say because it's a traditional marriage, the man should take everything. There's a recent ruling, even for ordinance, where the Supreme Court in a 3-1 decision, the AJ versus AJ, it was held that a spouse claiming an interest in a property acquired either in part or in whole during the subsistence of the marriage must prove, listen to this one,
that you contributed,
must prove that he or she contributed in some measure.
That's right.
Towards the acquisition of the property.
That's right.
So the law covers you when you are even going the traditional way.
That's right.
You can go get a good lawyer to argue
that you can say, look, while he was waking up to go and do the morning show, I was the one staying behind to take care of the kids.
Exactly, but for my contribution, he would not have the opportunity to go to it.
And the peace of mind.
So our women, and most of the time it's the women who suffer. So the women should encourage the men to, if they are not ready to go the ordinance way, which may appear expensive, they should go the traditional way.
I mean, most men say they won't choose the ordinance marriage because it locks them down. It's just one man, one bullet.
That's what our.
But if they do the customary marriage, they
our
can
ancestors,
they can spread.
Our forefathers preached. But with the advent of Christianity, we've all gone that way, and we've used the Bible to say that. I mean, New Testament, but the Old Testament, they had multiple wives, even beyond that, with concubines. Solomon and the rest had concubines.
Abraham and Sarah, for example. Somebody said that men knew nothing about side chicks until Abraham's wife Sarah gave the permission and said you can't choose a side chick.
You see, so the conversation,
and since that time, it has been.
What did I say, Abraham?
No. Abraham didn't know anything about it. He was sitting somewhere with his wife Sarah. Yeah, but who suggested it?
Wow.
And you see,
the year is 2023, but you are tracing back psychology
no.
to the Old Testament.
No. It's there, but it's there. It's in the Bible.
But it's Sarah.
So Abraham and Sarah were husband and wife.
But Johnny,
they couldn't conceive.
Everything you do negatively or positively, you get a quote in the Bible to support.
Thank you. But I'm saying
so that one.
I want to establish the thing that Abraham and Sarah were there. They were married. They didn't have children, and they wanted to have children. Sarah couldn't deliver on that KPI. So she said, oh, take this my maid and then have a baby.
That's more surrogacy. They didn't have children. She was the pioneer of surrogacy, more than side chickism.
But even if it was Sarah who did whatever, it's not a basis for what it's happening today, because these days people have children.
I'm not saying
people have the children, they still go. But then
I'm not saying it is basis. I'm saying that somebody said that men knew nothing about side chickism.
Right now on air, you are the one saying it.
I was about to say, the person who said it is John.
I am saying that men knew nothing about side chickism.
You are the one saying it.
No, I'm quoting myself. Ofori told me.
Hey,
Ofori told
me. Ofori who? Give us the full name.
He doesn't like his name to be mentioned. Ofori.
Like some of our callers, tactics. VRA has caught you now, Johnny.
Do I look? No, it's not that they do JMF Kusibuati situation here.
So I mean, quite frankly, we should not put too much stress on ourselves when the issue of marriage comes up. These days on social media, people have made the marriage thing so big,
right?
And even where the guests are supposed to entertain the couple, they are the ones entertaining. I mean, doing all kinds of flamboyant things. It is not that one that matters. That one is just a day.
A day.
You see, so let's spend less on the ceremony and more on the marriage. In terms of
because the ceremony is just one off, but the marriage lasts. Well, Williams Mensah on Facebook has just joined us. Is asking, Johnny, what's the topic for discussion? Well, we're discussing the law, the economy, relationships, and cohabitation together. People have said that if you are locked down, you have stranded and all of that, you may want to cohabit and all that. So that's what we're discussing. Share your thoughts and views, and we will share it with the rest of the. What do you say?
Yes, Johnny. So in 2021, we found out from the Ghana Statistical Service that almost 1 million Ghanaians had decided to separate and or divorce, and that's quite a high number in just 1 year. 1 million, almost 1 million Ghanaians decided that this institution is just not for me. They want to back out of marriage. And I read on Fair
that's even what has been reported.
Thank you. And high up on the list of regrets or things that people wish they had done differently actually was that they wanted to study they wish they'd studied the partner more. And some people say in order to do so, they wish that they had lived with the partner before they got married, because some sometimes the reasons for which there are disagreements are this person is messy, this person doesn't like to do this, and so on and so forth.
Doesn't like to bath before he comes to sleep.
You know, and you didn't know that when you were only, you know, before he would drop you at home and then go home. You don't see somebody can even bite their toenails straight, toe to mouth. It's so irritating to you that it can spoil your whole night.
Picks their nose.
You know, all these things. So they
But
say
you
that
don't wash the soap off
don't
the
wash
wall.
the soap. Some people don't flush. You know, I know it's early. You're probably having
where you hold the
toothpaste. They say these are some of the little things that happen when you cohabitate with somebody else that you find out. And if they had known after maybe 6 months of cohabiting, they think somebody who can chew their toenails straight toe to mouth.
No.
So how do we then?
You
You understand me? So that if we are being honest with ourselves and quite genuine, and you know, I'm not saying parking religion, but being realistic based on the where we find ourselves today, 2023. Some of these statistics can be prevented. Lawyer Malm-Hesse told us to initiate divorce, you know, right off the bat these days. He said somewhat, maybe even 7,000 Ghana cedis to start off with. That's just as a basic.
In this Ghana.
In this Ghana here, you just want to say goodbye, adios to your wife. Now they say bring money just to leave her.
The alimony has not come.
It hasn't even come. The splitting of the assets, the children, their welfare. So sometimes these things prevent these statistics. And if we are honest with ourselves, we can. I'm not saying encourage cohabitating, but the benefits are there.
But would you cohabitate with somebody?
I would 100% cohabitate with somebody. I have no problems.
Why would you?
I want to get to know them. I think, again, some of these petty reasons.
You don't do what you're not supposed to do. No,
some of these petty reasons that you see here and there are the reasons for divorce.
William, leave her alone, please.
Because when the coal starts burning, water to cool it available.
And we situate this conversation in the fact that one
Red
is a
hot.
secular state. Not everybody subscribes to a religion. So, of course, when you prescribe certain things, also know your audience. You might be speaking to somebody who is maybe irreligious or doesn't subscribe to your faith. So the thing you are telling them, it's got nothing to do with them.
Okay, let's hear from Councillor Kwaku Adumatta.
Well, my take on cohabitation is it's a bit bizarre. The people in it normally think that there is hope. If it is not, we are anticipating that there will be a good to come. If it is not when somebody is vulnerable, if it is not when somebody is limited, if it is not when somebody is more or less astray in terms of I don't have what it takes to survive, then somebody says that, okay, per that view, get closer to me and let's see how well we can build the tomorrow together. So it is based on pretenses. It is based on let's see whether things will work well so we can go. But in actual fact, it is not the right thing. Cohabiting basically means that you are going to act as if you are a wife or you are a husband. You'll be doing all the things a husband or wife does. In terms of cooking, in terms of sleeping, in terms of laying bed, in terms of doing everything. But the reality is that you have not been married. Reality is that nobody is responsible of you. Reality is that your family do not know exactly what is going on. Reality is that you have actually lost out of the dungeons. So from the surfaces to the people in it, and the one that is vulnerable, the one that is limited, thinks that cohabiting is good. But one party takes advantage of the other. On the basis, let's say if the man has a house and the woman is a bit vulnerable and is more or less wanted to come in, what it means is that the man thinks that I'm the one overseeing you. And the lady also feels that, I don't have anywhere going, so let me succumb to it. So one way or the other, somebody somewhere is being penalized. But saying that you won't do it and you will leave means that you have thrown all your chances away. So it's a bit bizarre, but it is not the best thing. It is a situation called for. It is how people are vulnerable. It is how people are limited. That is causing all these things. And somebody will say that, you come stay with me, definitely I will marry you. On that premises, on that pretenses. So cohabiting, even if it will happen, it should not go to the extreme. There should be a limit. There should be a time bound that to this very point, everything should come to a halt and we move.
And what is the ideal time?
The ideal time means that have you gotten where you felt you were a bit limited? Are you a bit cushioned up? If it is, leave. If you think that you've gotten where you can actually fend for yourself, leave. Else, the more you are there, somebody somewhere will use you. And by by that act, that person more or less will sort of subdue you and let you feel that you are nobody. So you must know the time to leave. If it's about where to sleep, if you get a place to sleep, leave. If it's about money, if you get something doing, get it and leave. But as to holding on the premises that, oh, we will marry is a bit dangerous. But degenerate in something else. So,
what you gonna do? You wanna get down?
3FM Sunrise.
Do you wanna get down?
From the private legal practitioner Lebrecht, Chris Malm-Hesse, joining us now. Good morning, Counsel. How are you?
Good morning, my brother. How are you doing?
I am greater than Accra.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear your voice.
Nice. So we're talking religion, economy, cohabitation, and all the issues in between, the law particularly. What is the position of the law on cohabitation?
So what it means is that currently there is no law on cohabitation, but there are attempts to put things into reality. When I say that, it means that they are putting themselves together in way of a bill to have
Hello.
Right. To have that come up. But as of now, ordinarily cohabitation basically exists in its natural self. There is no law that gives remedies to people who believe that they had existed in that nature for a while, and because either parties have gone into his or her way, remedy avails them. But in the situation, remedy will avail you given the color that relationship took whilst it existed. When I say that, it basically means that while the parties cohabited, we'll look out for whether or not there was breach. There was promise to marry, so the man promised the woman, or vice versa, that would marry and all that. So that if one party breached that promise, then the other would have remedy in respect of that. Will claim damages for the breach to marry, and the cohabitation would be one of the pieces of evidence the person would use to exemplify in court that yes, we cohabited, there was promise, we carried ourselves in the eyes of the world as that, and that will further also transcend to what we call informal customary law marriage.
Okay, what's that?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, so informal customary law marriage basically means that so while they cohabit, they also demonstrate in the eyes of the public that this is my husband, this one will say this is my wife. When they go to family house, they say, oh, this is my husband, this is my wife. In church, so their relationship has gained notoriety in the eyes of the public as husband and wife. So in that situation, even where one dies, the other, upon application for letters of administration, if that letters of administration is caveated by any family member, it would be dependent on the person to say and demonstrate to the court that indeed I am a wife, or indeed I am a husband, based upon the explanation that I had given. So currently in its natural state, for you to claim a remedy in cohabitation, you must come under any of these coloration, either while that cohabitation subsisted, either of the parties promised marriage.
Oh, okay. Well, so my colleague William Asedu has a question. William.
Right. Good morning, Counsel. Yeah, I was just asking, if we cohabit, we acquire property together, and the relationship breaks up, what happens to the properties that were acquired?
I mean, properties acquired once that it is not marriage. So that if it is marriage, properties acquired during the pendency of the marriage is subject to settlement. So cohabitation cannot be likened to a marriage to say that because we are going our ways, properties must be settled. You get me? So in its logical way, two people came together, they formed a company because they love each other. If they are going their separate ways, to the extent of what I contributed, you would have to return mine if that's what I'm claiming. But in most of the sense, if it is mutual relationship, depending on whether it was intended that the commercial activities that happen, the parties intended for it to be a legal relationship, then in that commercial sense, parties can make claims for it. But if it was not intended to be in a commercial sense and it was just a loving relationship which transcended into that kind of arena, then contract tells us that you cannot claim in domestic arrangements. So where there were domestic arrangements, you cannot claim. But if it was meant to be in the commercial space, commercial agreements, commercial transactions are enforceable in court. So based on those principles, you can advance.
I see.
Given the situation you find yourself.
The scenario of Cristiano Ronaldo and his girlfriend comes to play here. Can his girlfriend or vice versa, Cristiano Ronaldo, go out there to make any claims if the relationship breaks apart?
Okay, all right. So I'll first issue a caveat. So we have what we call conflict of laws. Cristiano Ronaldo's situation, we cannot take it hook, line, and sinker. If we want to use that example, then we must assume that Cristiano Ronaldo is in the territorial jurisdiction of Ghana, so that the laws and principles of Ghana would affect Cristiano Ronaldo.
Right.
Because what permits in Portugal, the customary laws or the common law in Portugal is not applicable in Ghana, and vice versa. So, assuming without admitting that Cristiano Ronaldo is a Ghanaian, just as the lady, and so all that largesse and all that happens between them, just as we know, is born out of this territorial jurisdiction, then the advancement of the legal commentary would be that their relationship has been demonstrated or broadcasted to the world that this is my wife, because in some tabloids they refer to the woman as the wife, some say fiancé, and all and all. So the woman needs to demonstrate in a situation where Ronaldo is seeking to leave the woman. Number one, Ronaldo has promised to marry this lady. Ronaldo has given the lady a diamond rock as his promise to marry the woman. So situating this in this context, aside that Ronaldo maintains the woman with hundreds of thousands of dollars every month, there's been several promises of gifts between the parties.
Right.
Furthermore, the woman has given birth a number of children for the benefit of Ronaldo or their family and all of that. So in this situation, contextualizing it in the Ghana common law, you would realize that, number one, there's promise to marry, and all the elements of promise to marry is very there. Number two, there's informal customary law marriage, because they are living as husband and wife, and they have demonstrated that in the eyes of the world. So in a situation as Ghana, where we don't have cohabitation laws, if Cristiano Ronaldo decides to leave the woman will have right to file for breach of promise to marry, or in situation where Ronaldo is no more, the woman can apply for letters of administration as administrator and claim that she is wife, and demonstrate to the mind of the court that indeed she was demonstrated to the world as a wife and perform wifely duties and all of that.
I see. Interesting. Okay. Counsel, thank you so much indeed for your time this morning. We're grateful.
You're welcome.
That's Chris Malm-Hesse. He is a private legal practitioner.
Welcome.
Yeah. Lebrecht, Chris Malm-Hesse. Let's pick a few calls. 0592-928-795 and 0208-227-290. Cohabitation. That's a school registration. Spell your name. School registration. Spell your name. Cohabitation. Will you do it or not? On what basis? Having listened to the lawyer and the counselor. Yeah. 0592-928-795 and 0208-227-290. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Manyi Kwakwa Blaobo. Okay, talk to me.
From what I heard the lawyer say, I think cohabitating is all that difficult. And I think if you've been able to cohabitate with somebody and you are not able to marry that person, I think it's reasonable that you compensate that person. So for me, I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
I know that I can. Okay, 1 year, 1 year, 2 years. And for all you for know, maybe you have children or a child. And you think I can say some no children they are free without compensating the person. I think, well, if you are not able to marry the person, you have to compensate it because you've wasted what? That person's time.
Okay.
And by wasting that time, you must, add something or impart something into his or her life. So I think those that we are cohabitating, marry the person. If you are not able to marry,
compensate.
Make sure you do a compensation so that the person's heart.
Sorry about that. Eben says marry or compensate. 0592-928-795 and 0208-227-290. Sorry about that, Eben. The line just dropped. 0592-928-795 and 0208-227-290. Helen, marry or compensate? What do you say? If you are after cohabiting for some time, if you don't marry, compensate. That's what Eben says.
I agree.
You agree?
I agree.
William?
Depends on the circumstances.
What circumstances?
If you
William.
Depends on the because if you compensate means if you don't compensate, what you take the person to court. They look at the circumstances because even the Supreme Court has ruled that even in marriage, where he said, "Oh, the marriage is broken down, so let's share the property." It doesn't work like that anymore.
Okay.
So it depends on the
circumstances. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Morning. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, yourself.
I'm greater than Accra. Talk to me. What's your name and location, please?
Okay, I'm Michael from Ashama.
Okay, let's hear you.
Okay, so I think that cohabitating, apart from the benefit that one, at the end of the day, if it doesn't end up in a marriage, got to lose. Apart from that, it is good to cohabitate with someone because this time of age, people are doing all manner of things whilst they are not married. And you just come and meet someone in Accra. 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, you arrange for marriage, to get married. You don't know the person much. But once you are staying together and both of you are clear about your intentions of living together, it will work better than to get married to a stranger. So I think cohabitating whilst you are clear with your intentions is the best way to go.
Thank you very much. Grateful. That's our final caller. And happy birthday to first daughter who doubles to be the love and queen of my life, Dede Florence. A happy birthday as today marks your 13th birthday on earth. This is from Sir John Bososo. Also, Pedro says good morning. Good morning to you as well. William Mensah, we see you. Abdul, we see you as well. Margaret Wills says bravo Johnny, we see you as well. Thank you very much indeed for listening, guys. We have done 1 full week of brand new Sunrise. We are going home. We will enjoy our weekend, and like the pensioner, hopefully we'll meet on Tuesday in Parliament.
Indeed.
And we'll pick it, and we hope to see Justice and Frederick. And they have everything. Like somebody said, I should read the message. Right? Down there.
Some interesting developments, some personalities.
Okay. Should I read? Say again. Really? Is it true that former Chief Justice Sophia Kofu has joined the pensioner bondholders at the Finance Ministry demanding their exclusion from the DDEP from eavesdropping? One of the bondholders say they arranged. Hey, la. Phil, what song are you playing for us? You can't touch me. As for us, there you can't touch us. You can't touch us. Yeah, that they